Okay, so the trees are laden with apples this year, so I've been thinking really hard about how I'm going to store them and alter a few things that I already do. So on this video, I'm going to just talk about making a new apple rack. Okay, so I've been storing apples in these stacking crates for the last few years, which has been great. You can see in between each shelf, but the problem is you can't get to the apples unless you get it to the top shelf because they're stacking. They kind of interlock. You can see here these bits kind of interlock together, which is good when you're harvesting, but when you're storing them and you want to be able to check them and remove any bad apples, it can be a bit of a pain. So what I'd like to do now is alter it, take off these bottom legs where they stack in between and make a kind of drawer unit where I can pull out, that's just a box of seeds. This shed needs tidying up. Where you can make a drawer unit to pull out, and so I'll be able to check them easily, remove any bad ones, and also, eat what we want.
Hello.
Oh, you say hello?
Hello.
Right, so I'll go to the workshop and start making one. Okay, so construction is going to be dead easy. I'm going to literally take these bits off all the trays. I'm going to measure the width. I'm going to give it a little bit for play. I don't think they need to be particularly tight to slide in and out. I might even give them 10 mil, so 5 mil a side. And I'm going to do them long ways. Takes up less room in the shed. And also as they pull out, they give a bit of support. No drawer runners, just kind of a slide in place for the shelves to sit. I've got some PSE timber that I'm going to use for the slats, and then for the uprights I've just got some CLS, some 3x2 CLS, which is as cheap a timber as you can really get. I think it's about 3 or 4 quid a length. So I've got 4 lengths for the uprights and then some for the sides. Really simple construction, so there's screws and glue, and yeah, hopefully that should do it and should be knocked up in an hour or so. Okay, so like I said, dead easy construction. I'm just making 2 frames like this, just screwed together with some 4-inch screws. Nice and simple. In the old days I probably would have half lapped it just to be fancy, but I know that these screws aren't going to go anywhere. It's not going to be moved around. It's 600 long. When I built these crates, I built them 600 by 400, so modular with the materials I had to hand. Because I built them out of old pallet collars, ripped down the timber, ripped down the slats, did that. So yeah, it's just dead simple, and then I'll put some pieces in between to hold the unit together completely afterwards. All I'm going to do now is just pin on some slats all the way up here, spacing it so that these guys can slide in and out when I join the 2 frames together. You'll have to excuse the state of the workshop at the moment. I'm building the kitchen for my brother and a few other things, so it's a bit full. And as you can tell, I haven't got huge amounts of space. And if you look over here, I've even got, the kitchen and things that I'm building is stacked up. So it is really tight for space. But yeah, I can still work in here. It's fine. Okay, so measuring the apples I've got out there at the moment, my cookers are about 4 inches at the most. You want a bit of airflow and stuff around them anyway, so I'm thinking if I give them 120, 4.5, kind of 4 3/4 inches between the shelves, that should be fine. Okay, so here's the frame knocked up. Obviously very simple construction, just glued and pinned these on. I could add a back brace, but it seems really sturdy actually with a 4-inch screw, so I'm not sure I'm going to bother. And then the trays, I've cut the bottom bits off them. I need to go and do that to the rest. They go in and out, nice and easy. Obviously, because I've not put sides up this, trying to keep costs down, you could put them in on an angle and they might hit the back, but it's really easy to adjust. I don't think there's any problem there. So yeah, need to get the rest of them done. I'm not going to treat it or anything. I could, if I was going to, I'd probably put boiled linseed on it, which I might do at a later date, but I need this in the next few weeks really, and I'd rather just get using it, and then maybe when I clean it out and wash it off next year, perhaps I'll do it then. But let's get in the shed. Okay, so I've got the apple rack installed. I'm pretty pleased with it. Really simple construction, like I said, but it doesn't need to be anything more down here in the shed really. So I've got space for 15 of these trays in here. I've altered all the trays now, so I've cut off the bits just roughly, so they don't no longer stack. But the idea is you can pull a tray in or out, and if you want, you can take the tray, take it down the field, harvest your apples, and bring it back up and put it in here. But I am planning on doing the same in the pantry, so having a unit in the pantry and having a space for 5 in there as well. So the idea being you can come down here, see if you've got a nice tray of apples, take them out, take them up into the pantry. The kids can eat them then without having to come down to the shed. More likely to eat and use the food that we've got then. I do worry sometimes that we won't eat it all. So yeah, I'm pleased with this bit of organisation in here. My next thing is to organise my seed area there, I think, in here. I've got a good plan for that one. But yeah, really pleased with this. It should be really cool and it should be really useful.